Hello everyone, and welcome to yet another week of the VBL Season 17 on the Mancini the Amazing channel. This week I'm playing against Prime Sparks, who has what, in practice, feels like the counter team. Here is my opponent's team. So, very funny thing, Primal Groudon, it's a very strong Pokemon, definitely one of the strongest Pokemon in VGC history. It has this ability, Desolate Land. Desolate Land sets up harsh sunlight, which overrules regular sunlight as well as every other weather, and it means that you can't put regular sun on. It also turns off whenever a Pokemon with Desolate Sun, whenever there's no Pokemon with Desolate Sun in, so if they switch out or if they faint, assuming that someone hasn't copied it. The other thing that it does is it turns off Groudon's ability, Orichalcum Pulse, which relies on regular sunlight, and doesn't activate Photosynthesis, Raging Bolt's ability, which also relies on regular sunlight, even though it does work for solar power, Charizard's ability. This is because Charizard existed when Primal Groudon was made, and these other Pokemon did not. This is definitely a pretty interesting... Yeah. I was like, MF Doom like. I'm like, you know what? That really is some MF Doom type. Also, Primal Groudon, if we just scroll down a little bit to where the stats are, has absolutely banana bonkers stats, featuring such low stats as its 90 speed and 90 special defense. And that's what I'm having to build to exploit. So, and they also, yes, have Giratina, who can be either Giratina Origin or base Giratina. So far, they've just been using the altered form rather than the Origin Giratina, but the Origin Giratina does have Levitate, which could be annoying. And then they have like Stonjourner with Wide Guard. They've got Deoxys, that's Deoxys Regular. It is faster than Mega Mewtwo Y, which is unfortunate. Then they've got Volcanine as well, which can take advantage of the sun to boost its Fire-type moves, but its Water-type moves don't work in the sun. Vaporeon's Water-type moves also, Desolate Land also turns off Water-type moves. So like Vaporeon can't use Water-type moves, so its only weakness is Ground. So, you may have noticed, I am bringing a Ground-type. Here's the debut of Spider-Man. This is Spider-Man 2099. The excellently portrayed by Oscar Isaacs, Miguel. And it's here to click Wide Guard, but it also has Sturdy, so that it can click Earthquake, and then it can click Earthquake, and then maybe it can even click Rock Slide. So I've sort of got like two modes, one of which is more like an aggro Sun build with Koraidon, Charizard, and then with Lele and Mewtwo in the back, and then I also have the one where I lead like Koraidon and Hoppip, and then use like Charizard, Golem, whatever, just to sort of have something. None of it feels amazing here. Have I like manually set all these Terra types? I'm starting to feel like I've not manually set several of these Terra types. Let me just quickly look at the matchup again. Actually, this is a Scarf. Terra Psychic is probably intentional so that I can do more damage. Golem, Terra Rock? Why would I be Terra Rock over Terra Ground here? I feel like I wouldn't be. I'm just going to presume that I was cooking, so therefore I'll go with Terra Ground. Start cooking in the sense of that, and aggressive Terra makes sense. I guess fighting does make sense since I'm Sash. It's also got Bulldoze to take advantage of the general ground weakness of the team. This doesn't have anything to hit Slitherwind, but luckily I do have a Charizard, and Charizard here is Specs with Terra Fire, just to do damage. I don't even remember why this is Terra Bug, genuinely. Yeah. But it's called Pollen Puff because Pollen Puff is a 2-hit KO. It's like a roll to 2-hit KO Deoxys. Got special defense there to help me take a hit from Deoxys as well. And it's also got access. Like, Helping Hand is really one of the very valuable parts. But Cotton Spore is sort of like Tailwind, but it also isn't like Tailwind. I'm trying to remember why I'm Cotton Spore over Tailwind. I'm not sure I know why I'm Cotton Spore over Tailwind. I guess the value is you can click it twice? But why am I not Tailwind? I think I'm just gonna move, I'm just gonna be Tailwind, I think. Yeah. I don't know necessarily that I feel like I can reliably click it twice with Hoppip. It does also have Sleep Powder, which is quite disruptive. I've got Breaking Swipe here, which can mitigate the physical offense. But the important thing also, it sort of gets around like Sash options. It is blocked by Wide Guard though, if they have a Stone Jonah there. But frankly, sometimes the most effective way to limit the impact of Groudon is to be able to, like, you know, click Protect while I've got a Tailwind popping off with Hoppip, and then so that it can't, sorry, because they can use Lilligant to after you the Groudon, so it goes first. Why is this Terra bug? I just don't think that's correct. I think it needs to be a Terra that resists fire. Maybe neutral to fire would have been fine, but like I'm worried about Lilligant and Lilligant after Ewing Eruption from Groudon, which, you know, obviously I'm not terrible into with Groudon even, but yeah, I'm not actually totally in love with Sash. I don't necessarily understand why I made all the decisions I did in prep. Sash, I feel like it's pretty easy to get picked off by like a sneak Giratina. I think my opponent said that they should be around by now. They should have been around 5 minutes ago. But you know, it's all good. They're here now. So hopefully they'll bop off the challenge. I had Vaporeon on this team briefly, I had Tinkerton on this team briefly. Like, Raging Bolt is just not great here. It's like competing with Lele for the psychic, for the Scarf slot. But without the photosynthesis boost, its attack just isn't consistent enough. Whereas if I am clicking like Terra Psychic with Lele, which Psychic is pretty good into this team, if I am clicking Terra Psychic with Lele, I am doing pretty considerable damage. I don't know why the Lele is this exact speed stat instead of like having like a little bit of bulk. I personally suspect that this is much faster than Deoxys. I would be correct. Then what was the other Pokemon? I already forgot. Oh yeah, then I should just run speed for something that's base 90. So in case they like Scarf or get to +1 with them. Because frankly, having a little bit of bulk when they are throwing around these crazy spread moves can matter. I've just got Cal running on my other screen. Turns out level 100 Pokemon are very strong. Yeah, I mean, like, this is enough to let me live like fast Groudon Precipice Blades from full. Hi. Let's send Cal. Got the right screen up, yeah. I'm hoping to get. But Golem isn't the Mon. I've got like a planned thumbnail, and it's not good Golem on the thumbnail. Or like I've got an idea for them, which I can always recycle in a future week if need be. If it doesn't wind up making sense. I just feel like the background music is a little bit louder than I meant it to be, but it's hard to get it to like a precise volume. Guess I can always lower it on this end as well. What does it mean future type V? I don't remember future for an entire anime monologue. Okay. So they wind up bringing Togetic. That's interesting. Oh yeah, I should good luck and fun my opponent. Okay, they brought Giratina altered again. Over the origin form. No Lucario. No Slither. Slither doesn't get boosted by their son either, so that makes some sense. And I wasn't expecting Vulpix to come. Stone Jonah was like theoretically an option, but not necessarily one I was super I thought was super likely came. I might go Mewtwo Lele with just Groudon Charizard in the back. So I do live a hit from Groudon, which sort of makes me want to click Expanding Force to Groudon and just Dazzling Gleam. Also, when it Mega Evolves, it does get it gets Insomnia, which means if they Sleep Powder into the Mewtwo, even if they connect, it won't go to sleep, which is nice. So the idea by Dazzling Gleam is it does less to Groudon, but it will get some damage into the Lilligant. So I should be able to get through it if it's neither of my Pokemon faint this turn, and if they are Sash even. Though Deoxys is another reasonable Sash option. I feel like the Koraidon lead wasn't terrible here as well. but it's just like a bit of a risk against Sleep Powder. And I'm not necessarily in love with my Groudon set itself right now. I think I have some physical bulk on me. I don't even know if we looked at the Mewtwo set. Yeah, it's got Earth Power and Dark Pulse. Dark Pulse allows it to hit Deoxys, but I think it also allowed it to hit something else they didn't bring. Okay, so they were... Well, my Dazzling Gleam play looks really bad. I was, like, kind of close to going for Protect, but that's also a lie, so... okay. I wish I had Telepathy right now. Yeah, Extremely Harsh Sunlight was not lessened at all, so I don't have the attack boost. I wish I just clicked Psychic. Okay. I feel like that wasn't a super safe play. Putting aside the fact that obviously there's the chance that it misses. Oh, it was Helmet. Okay, that's an interesting specific pick. Definitely not something I predicted there. I kind of want to Bulldoze and switch in Charizard on a Heat Crash. Or even Breaking Swipe and switch in Charizard. I mean, I just want to get like, not locked into Dazzling. Yeah, if I protected Mewtwo turn 1 and went for a Psychic into the Groudon, it would have gotten a pretty solid amount of damage. Even with Dazzling Gleam doing 15, it does tell me that they might be, like, they've got some amount of bulk for sure. But I don't know how much. But why am I using Bulldoze? I'm just going to Breaking Swipe and switch in Charizard. That does so much damage. I'm glad I didn't get the burn. Okay. Here, I just want to push enough damage into Groudon that it faints, and go for a KO, and then go for a feint into Volcanion as well. How much do we think Heat Wave does to Volcanion? Do we think it's enough the Bulldoze plus Heat Wave picks up? I think we might think that with Terrifier. I'm stupid! I'm stupid! I'm stupid! I'm so stupid! Okay, well that was dumb. Yeah. Great job, Charizard. The good news is, if my opponent... if the Groudon faints, I won't be in Sun anymore, so I won't take damage in a turn. Going for Terrifier there. Okay, so the Volcanion's got some bulk for sure. I feel relatively confident that Psychic plus Heat Wave picks up, but I wish I had not Terrified the Charizard. I also wish I hadn't clicked Bulldoze, because I could have just close combated the Volcanion. Okay, but I'm faster than the Volcanion, and it faints, so I don't take the Sun damage at the end of turn. So I just need the Pokemon to lose, which it doesn't. Like, Giratina will beat the Charizard. But if I hadn't Bulldozed myself, that would have been a much better play. Oh, that wound up going quite poorly. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, if I hadn't Terrified, even. Flash Cannon is an interesting reveal from the Volcanion. I guess Flash Cannon hits Lele, but Fire moves also hit Lele, I guess that's my thought. Okay, interesting. What if I led Mewtwo with Koraidon? Do we think Groudon does to Lilligant? Okay, we do think Groudon picks up Lilligant. So I'm thinking I can go for like a Protect, and then I'll do Lele and Charizard on the back again. Lilligant is unfortunately quite a solid Pokemon. Interesting. I am very confused. I kind of just want to click Terra Psychic Expanding Force and switch in Lele. Not Terra Psychic, sorry, Mega. I just kind of want a Mega and Psychic. I'm fairly certain I'll take the hit. The initial hit from Giratina. Giratina is Terra Steel. Interesting. Okay, they went for Carmine. They went for Icy Wind. The Icy Wind is very good for them here. Okay, I think I'm just going to Earth Power. And I might even switch in Charizard here. Maybe not switching Charizard here. If if Lele learned Trick, I could trick the Giratina here, and that would be solid. But I could also Protect and Dazzling Gleam here, and then I can probably preserve the Mewtwo. Okay, let's see what they went for. If they went for another Psychic, obviously that's a really good play. They went for a Dragon Pulse, interesting. I kind of want to go into Charizard. Let me click Charizard and Dazzling Gleam again. Now, yeah, I did expect an Icy Wind. The Charizard taking a lot of damage there, which is not optimal. But I am at 4 Pokemon. It's just that one of them is a bit weakened, one of them is really weakened, one of them is reasonably weakened. And they are +1 with the Giratina. But I think if I can get the Charizard in to make a safe attack, it will get a KO. But how do I do that? Okay. Interesting. I kind of want to just switch in both on this turn. That may go very poorly for me, but it may go okay. And if you think about it, isn't that really what life's about? Because you looked into, yeah, Dazzling. Okay, Flash Cannon and Dragon Pulse. Cool. I'm gonna... I'm being punished by the general state of Expanding Force. I think I'm gonna protect an Expanding Force here. Yeah, I didn't think it would pick up. Okay, I didn't necessarily... Oh, yeah, they're +1. I definitely should have expected that to pick up. Okay, so now I bring Lele in here. And I can go for a CC into the Giratina and a Psychic into the Volcanion. And I'm pretty sure that that's, like, at least reasonably threatening to two KOs. Even without Sun. So even if they switch in Groudon, I should still be able to pick up a KO into the Giratina, even if they switch it in the Volcanion slot. Because they should pick up even a max defense Giratina of this range. Alright, interesting to see what the last one here is. Okay, it is Groudon. I don't think they can pick up 2 KOs this turn. I think if I close combat the Giratina... Oh, am I still confident that the Giratina? Yeah, okay. I still think it's out of range. And frankly, I'm going to go for the Terra Psychic into the Groudon this turn. I'm stupid. I lose! Oh, they played that really well. Because the Giratina can always... Sorry, they can always protect. Why did I not target the Groudon with both slots there? No one knows, because I was worried about it protecting, but it's always going to protect this turn. I mean, obviously, I go for Flamethrower here, but they protect. Yeah, GG's. Okay, yeah, I got completely blown out. That was just not a particularly well played set for me, but my opponent played it well, and they had solid prep, which kept them in it, right? I made a few misplays, and my opponent was really effective at punishing them. Well, that's a way to lose a winning streak pretty early on into a season, eh? I think I can go with the thumbnail idea that I have. So you guys would have seen it's the it's Mewtwo and Spider-Gwen, which is Ghost Spider, sorry, which is Lele. overlooking in that famous scene from the Mewtwo movie. Sorry. Let me save my paste to share it with my opponent and see if we can get a look at my opponent's paste. It's right there. There you go, the replays. Okay. Yeah, but that was really well played from them. What would I have done into a game 3 if I had one? So if I'd made the correct play, which was doubling the ground on that turn, because again, relatively confident that Giratina, with its Terra Steel, maybe not, depends on how it's invested, but actually, yeah, it probably didn't go down to overheat. If I didn't Terra Psychic and I Terra Fired, it would though. Most likely. Here, thanks. You can share paste and so after I drop it. Smiley face. Yeah. Whew. A lot of stuff's been going on. I've been playing a lot of Pokemon Legends EA, which I saw like one of my friends messaged me several hours prior and I did not notice it while I was playing the Tsar. Yeah. Okay, so here you guys should be able to see. Yeah, just Sash, as we saw. I mean, we didn't see Taunt on the Deoxys, but it's good to know. Interesting Giratina. Definitely, like the Giratina is pretty effective. The Lilligant and Togetic are off the screen. The Togetic is Follow Me, Protect, Tailwind, Dazzling Gleam. I can understand why it didn't wind up hitting the field. It was Super Luck, which is interesting. I don't even remember what its other abilities are, but you may as well get Dazzling Gleam crit if you can, right? Then yeah, the Lilligant Rocky Helmet was definitely interesting prep that wound up, you know, having game impact in game 1. I probably won without it, but it definitely was, you know, I didn't have the Sash. Not that the Sash wound up mattering. They mentioned they didn't miss Precipice Blades, which is true. I definitely shouldn't have been playing around dodging a Precipice Blades on this turn, which, you know, wasn't actually what I did, but in practice is what I did. I made the play that they could punish, and I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have gone for the Terra on Lele. I should have just doubled the Groudon with the CC and the Psychic, because, you know, I always had another Pokemon left against the Giratina, because you can only hit one Pokemon, whereas Groudon can hit 2. A high horsepower last is very funny. Yeah, and it was a Solfest on the Volcanion. I didn't finish calculating it to check whether it was, but I did think it might have been a Solfest in that first game when it wound up living that heat wave. Crazy to think the 4x move doing 24% was like, oh, that's probably a Solfest, you know? 4x resisted, sorry. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Yeah, really well played to my opponent this week. I think this is their first win this season, in terms of like a set win, so I'm very happy for them for getting that. But hopefully I'll be able to continue back on some of my earlier throughout the rest of the season. Thanks guys for watching.